Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Small School AD on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with this week's Small School AD, but first, as always, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Now, don't hit that fast forward button. These are all companies that I used as an athletic director, and I highly recommend that you add them to your team. So take the next couple of minutes, listen to our sponsorship shout outs, then listen to our Small School AD guest, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We'd like to say thanks to Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com, schedule a live web demo to see their score tables and their scoreboards in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com for more information. We also want to say thanks to our friends at Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform that you will use every single day. Things like scheduling, rosters, reporting scores, communicating with your team, communicating with your state. How about student athlete eligibility and clearance? Who doesn't do that every day? Well, Home Campus does all of these things, does it better, and does it faster. To get started, all you have to do is go to homecampus.com. That's it, homecampus.com. We'd like to say thanks to Gipper. You know, your students and a lot of their parents are on social media. And if you're not posting content to acknowledge their accomplishments, celebrate their victories, you're really missing out. Go to Gipper.com. They'll have you creating world-class content in seconds, and it's so easy, even I can do it. Gipper's used and trusted by over 4,000 high school and college programs. It's professional graphic design made simple. Go to Gipper.com for more information. We also want to say thanks to Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and came away disappointed? Stop right here. Go to snapraise.com. It's hands down the best online fundraiser out there. We used it at our school with tremendous success. Coaches loved it. Our parents loved it because it works. Go to snapraise.com. Check out their other great platforms. If you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. Go to snapraise.com. We also want to say thank you to Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. I don't think I need to say anything more. Go to hometownticketing.com. It's digital ticketing that offers more. We want to say thanks to the Ohio University Online Masters in Athletic Administration. This is an affordable 20-month, totally online program where you earn your master's degree and at the same time you earn 11 NIAAA leadership training courses. To get started, just go to ohio.edu/info/MAA, the Ohio University Online Masters in Athletic Administration. We'd like to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the events, or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out their interactive touch screen video consoles. It's also a great way to showcase your school's unique history and talk about your proudest moments. The website is vitalsignswalloffame.com. Make sure you visit them today and mention the podcast. We also want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. You know, athletic directors already get feedback, but a lot of times it's from a very small group that just wants to complain about everything. Athletic Surveys will connect you to that small group, but they're also going to connect you to the 98% of your stakeholders that support your program. And that information is incredibly valuable when you're meeting with a frustrated parent, or maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. athleticsurveys.com. And we want to say thanks to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our kids love the videos, and our parents love the streaming, and there's so much more. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users turn your school into a huddle school. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Small School Athletic Director on the Educational AD Podcast. This is our weekly series where we visit with athletic directors from across the country that are doing the work in small schools. Our definition of a small school is, say, 300 students or so in the high school. We've had ADs with a little bit more than that. We've had ADs with, less than 100 students. And today we're going to go to Indiana and we're going to visit with Shane Davis. Shane is a certified athletic administrator and he's the director of athletics at Eminence Community School, and that's in Eminence, Indiana. So, and it's also, I got to say, this is the home of the EELS. So, Shane, welcome to Small School AD.
Hey, I appreciate it very much. Thanks, Jake, for giving me this opportunity.
Oh, no, absolutely. I had a chance to chat with you a little bit before we started recording. I think we're probably going to have to get you back later this fall for a full interview, but share with our listeners a little bit about your background. How'd you end up at Eminence? And then, of course, we want to hear what you have to share with all the small school ADs that are listening.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm in getting ready to start my fifth year at Eminence. I was when I started teaching and in education back about be 11 years is when I started. I started at Terre Haute North High School and then went home to my alma mater, Southmont High School, to teach and coach there. I coached tennis at Terre Haute North, and then I was on our baseball. I was a coach for one of our coaches for a baseball program. And I always wanted to get into athletic administration, and just was really excited about just building the relationships with the kids and things too. So that was a huge thing for me, and got the opportunity to come here. Our school is about uh, last year we had like 96 kids, I think, in our high school. We had a graduating class of 28 last year. This year, so I haven't got the numbers yet for this year to see what that's going to look like, but we're growing a lot. We hired a full-time strength and conditioning coach last year. Also was a business teacher, so that was a huge thing with that kind of aspect. Yeah, so it was a good thing. Been in education, been an athletic administrator for 5 years. Really excited about being a part of the double IAAA and the NIAAA and stuff too. I teach some of the LTC courses, for our state association and things, and looking to go nationally as well. So I'm pretty excited about all that and the opportunities that I've been given the first 5 years, 4 years, I should say, as an athletic administrator. So.
Oh, no, absolutely. I appreciate you sharing that. We've said throughout this series that, athletic directors at small schools, and I know that at big schools too, but particularly at smaller schools, you wear a lot of hats, and a lot of times you don't have that assistant AD or that administrative assistant or all the resources that are frequently available at a bigger school. So, what kind of tips can you share with our listeners that help you do such a great job at Eminence, with your teams, your coaches, and your kids?
So the biggest thing, I'm also our dean of students and our corporation safety director, plus our varsity baseball coach. So when you say I wear a lot of hats, there you go. Um, so the biggest thing is get a team around you that will help you. That will take on, and want to help out. I got a group of people that helps me out. If I can't be at a game, it's parents or coach, other coaches from other sports and stuff too. If I can't be at a game, whether it's home or away, they're there, and so they can keep me updated on some things. I mean, that's a big thing. The biggest thing, the biggest tip that I could give to anybody that has a lot of hats that they got to wear is time management throughout the day. So basically, my Google Calendar is filled with stuff that I got to do on a constant basis. So I mean, it's basically, and it's color coded. I do the same thing with, we use EventLink for all, for our one stop shop. So for tickets, for schedules, for practices, for facility usages. I mean, and I'm all that too. So I got to take care of all that. But the biggest thing that I would look at is I color code things. So if it's a disciplinary side of things, or I got to look at discipline side, I look at it pretty much first thing in the morning. When I get here. So that's one color. And then, if I get into the safety coordinator position and stuff too, I'm on our county safety commission. So I have meetings, once every other month. in our big city, I guess you can say, in our county, with all the other, police, fire, all that stuff too. So I go on that into that meeting. So that's one color, and then another color, obviously, is my coaching side of things, and then also with my AD side of things. So, and I do have a part-time assistant, which helps me out a little bit. And so I kind of push things more with the middle school side of things because I'm also our middle school AD too as well. So I let him kind of do a little bit with the middle school stuff where I can focus more on the high school side, making sure bylaws are followed, NFHS requirements are met and things too along those lines. So I would say the biggest thing from a small school AD side of things is time management is the biggest thing because everything is thrown at you at one time. It took me about a year, year and a half to really kind of get a system kind of together. Because you have all these sports because I was just strictly it was just kind of a season by sport, so fall I was one, winter I coached a little bit of basketball, and then in spring was baseball. And so now you got to add wrestling, volleyball, cross country, you're adding all those other sports to it, and then making sure deadlines are met. I also push a lot of things and let your coaches be involved. So like my coaches, right now, for the most part, most of them, they do the scheduling side of things. So, they ask me and I'm like I'm the one that has to say, hey, we're over our games. We can't have any more, or we need to be doing that. But I let them go make their own schedule, and then once the two coaches get together and talk, they figure out if they can, then the ADs and I will get together and we'll figure out a date and move on forward from there. So I also let them kind of help with the officials too. They know a lot of the officials, so I let my coaches pick, some of the officials that they want for our games. And then once they get it to me, then I send it to the officials through EventLink, and doing all that. Some other things I use Gipper. I know Gipper is a big sponsor for you guys. They've been fantastic. My kids actually love it because especially if I spotlight them on something, and if I forget, I had that happen last year where I had a kid come up to me and she was like, you totally forgot about me. And I'm like, I did? She goes, yeah. And I was like, luckily we got to the sectional final. And so I was able to post her on there and stuff too. So it was pretty cool where that's a big thing for them, to get their views and their, and their things with social media today. So it's a cool thing. And, that's the biggest thing is just rely on the people that, you come to see, that want to help you to succeed. I wouldn't be successful without the support staff that I've had, throughout my entire life. So it's my parents, my family, my former administrators, my mentors. Get involved with your state associations. One of the my mentor, actually, he's been on the podcast before with Scott Stevens at Cascade High School. Scott and we talk quite a bit, so he helps me. He talks me off the ledge sometimes, and then I do the same thing with him. So, it's a great relationship with Scott and all the other administrators in Indiana that we go to kind of go through. So, our profession is really cool. I mean, because there's not, the competition level, school to school. Yeah, we want to win and we want to, beat everybody else. But at the end of the day, it's that partnership, it's the friendship, it's the colleagues that you come and meet and work with and things to make the best atmosphere for our student athletes. So it's really cool. And it fuels me every day. There's some late nights and stuff too. I get up or get home late and try and get up early in the morning. I'm like, why do I do this? And then it's those conversations and those friendships and the impacts that we're making on our student athletes that makes me want to get up every day and do this. So, yeah, I mean, those would be the two big things that I would use.
Well, again, thank you so much for sharing. And I mean, I think you may have set a record for the number of individual tips that you tossed out there, but they're all fantastic. But the theme of, taking care of your people, whether it's coaches or kids, or fans, absolutely rings true. And you're right, we do have a great job. There's some challenges like any job, but the rewards,
Mhm.
I think far outweigh any other profession. Shane, again, you did a great job sharing. If one of our listeners wanted to reach out, pick your brain a little bit more, take a deeper dive into some of those tips, or if they just wanted to add you to their network, what's the
Mhm.
best way that they can get a hold of Shane Davis?
The best way is email. My email address is this is all lowercase S Davis, so S and then Davis um, at Eminence EMINENCE .K12.in.us.
Okay. Well, Shane Davis, again, he's the director of athletics at Eminence Junior Senior High School, and that's in Eminence, Indiana. Thanks so much for sharing with our listeners today. I hope you continue to have a great summer and then all the best with the coming school year.
Absolutely, Jake. I appreciate the opportunity, and this is a great opportunity for, this is I learned a lot of stuff from listening to your podcast and stuff too on how I can incorporate things into our athletic department and things too. So thank you for doing this, and with all the sponsors and stuff too that we all work with, thank you, because if it weren't for you guys, we couldn't do what we do now. So thank you.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you for that. We also want to say thanks to our listeners. And just a reminder, we upload the Zoom recordings of all of our interviews to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. Once again, we do this every single week. And I think just about every day, we try to share best practices and stories from athletic directors just like you. So thanks again for listening. Come back next time for another small school AD on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Boy, a lot of great tips there from Shane Davis. Make sure you connect with him, add him to your network. Speaking of connecting, we want you to connect with our sponsors. These are all companies that I used as an athletic director, continue to use them. So go visit Gipper, Gipper.com. Reach out to Huddle. Their website is huddle.com. The Ohio University Online Masters Program, that's ohio.edu. I want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. I want to thank Home Campus. It's a platform you'll use every single day, I promise you. Homecampus.com. Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. That's sidelineinteractive.com. Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider. That's hometownticketing.com. If you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it, snapraise.com. And athleticsurveys.com. We use surveys for everything at my school, and you should try it too. Athleticsurveys.com. Thanks again for listening to this episode of Small School AD. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.